Yes, sir, buddy. I am back once again. I am back on a Wednesday, and I am happy to see everyone because I am back. I am back. Listen, people, y'all come on in. Put your comments in here. We're finna get it on and popping. Share, 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 share. Tune in to my YouTube page, please. We're gonna talk some shit today. Bless, what's up, Tony? I got pretty women in here tonight. I always have pretty women in here. They always follow me. That's why the guys come to this party. The guys come to this party because I have the most beautiful women in the world in here. And so that is why everyone comes into this party. Because ain't no party like the Uncle Luke party. And that's what we do. All the sexy women from around the world. Y'all tell me where y'all from. Everybody on here tell me where you from. Especially the beautiful women. Tell me where you from. One of these days I'm gonna have a show where we just talk about how men need to treat women. That's what I'm gonna do. Share the page right now because we're getting ready to have a good conversation. Yep, we're gonna talk about the Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins #1. Miami Dolphins. We're gonna talk about the Miami Dolphins. We're gonna talk about everybody. Hurricane football. We're gonna talk about everybody. It's going down. You should see my phone. Jesus. Come on. Share the page, share the page, share the page. I should be like promoting this earlier. Like, I'm here and I'm going to be here. Pennsylvania. I'm going to be staying in Pennsylvania on Sunday because I got a big concert in Atlantic City. So I'm staying in Philly. I'm staying in Philly, baby. I love Philly. The Philly cheesesteak and all that. And a bag of chips. Let me share my own page with people. Oh, see that? Here we go. Look at myself. Look at myself. Share the page. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff tonight when it comes to sports. We're going to talk about NIL deals. We're going to talk about the Miami Dolphins. We're going to talk about college football. We're going to talk about your team and how you feel about your team, who probably fired their coach. And everybody fired the coach. We are talking sports tonight right here on Uncle Luke Live. I'm happy y'all tuned in because it's going to be a good night. Pass that on, ship that out. Share the page. Come on before we start up because you know once I start up, I just run my damn mouth. So share the page. Let's get the people on up in here. Let's get them going. Let's get this thing on and popping. And, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. But I do really want to do a show about, people be doing these shows about relationships. I want to do a show about relationships because I guess I'm an expert at it. If you were married for 13 years in a relationship for a total of 15. So, I'm an expert in it. And obviously, I went a long time before mine crashed and burned. So that'll be one show. The Ravens. Okay. All right, let's get into it. As you know, we have playoff weekend this weekend, but football is one thing. We'll get into the Miami Dolphins right now. Let me kill the Dolphins and then move on to the Hurricanes and everything else that you all want to talk about from your city because we don't only have people from Miami in here. We have people from all over the country. Everybody is in here, from Philadelphia to Alabama to and shouts out to Georgia. Shouts out to the University of Georgia for winning a national championship. The last time they won a national championship, Herschel Walker was black. Shouts out to UGA and all the people in Atlanta. Y'all get so excited. I'm just trying to figure out why a lot of people from Atlanta is so happy, because University of Georgia, you have Georgia Tech there. UGA is in Athens, Georgia, I think. So is it that you guys claim UGA over your own team, which is Georgia Tech, which is located in the ACC? Yep, Philadelphia Eagles. I see y'all up in here. I'm gonna be in Philadelphia on Sunday. Maybe I'm able to get to the game. Are they home? I don't think they're home, because the Eagles ain't like my Cowboys. Yes, I am a Cowboy fan. So if y'all want to go ahead and say your little slick comments right now, I've been dealing with it for years. Cowboy haters. Matthew, how you feeling? You good? Alabama won. University of Miami got a new coach. No, Alabama lost. I'm sorry. What the fuck am I talking about? Alabama lost. UGA won. Nobody is talking about the fact that Alabama lost 2 receivers. So they just so happy that Alabama lost. But nobody's like, the 2 top receivers in the country got hurt for Alabama. So I guess they're just happy Alabama lost, because there's supposed to be some kind of robotic team that can replace 2 prolific receivers just that fast. And the Miami Dolphins lost also this week. So let's talk about the Dolphins. Black coaches. The Dolphins. That was a shocker to everyone. The fact that the Dolphins ended up firing their head coach after going 8 out of the last 9 games and that he won. He was at 1.7 in a row. Lost to Tennessee, who won the division, and he swept Bill Belichick, probably the first person to do that in God knows how long. The GOAT. Shouts out the Edison Red Raiders. Yes, we're here. So that was a bad move on Ross' part. I know some of the interminglings and intertwined in things that happened, but that was really not really cool. That was bad. I heard that there was, the confusion came in with Tua. The confusion, the Dolphins head coach wanted Deshaun Watson. He also wanted Oregon's quarterback. And those guys decided that they wanted to get Tua, which everybody in Miami know that they was going to get Tua. So, and then as it played out, he still wasn't happy with Tua in his play. After the Buffalo game, they had a big old shang dang. And that is when coach got fired. After Tua stunk up the place in Buffalo. And it became a big situation. The Dolphins coach, from my understanding, got fed up with the general manager. Him and the general manager didn't see eye to eye. He looked at the general manager as a company man, because he had been with the Dolphins for over 22 years. So he didn't trust the general manager. It wasn't as if the general manager came in with him and that his job was in jeopardy. His job has never been in jeopardy, because he's a company man. He's been with the organization since God knows when. So that's what it is. That's where the communication broke down there between Tua, owner, general manager, head coach. Head coach felt nobody in the building had his back, because Everybody within the organization have been together for over 20 years. Whether it's Patmore, Marino, uh, you name it. All these guys are a team. So obviously, when you're the outside person looking in or just coming into this organization, either you play ball or you get fired. And so the coach got fired. Most people around here know the difficulties of the Miami Dolphins, where they came from offense, a dysfunctional locker room where linemen were calling each other racial slurs and homosexual slurs and on one coach's watch, and it become a dysfunctional locker room, dysfunctional organization. Moved on to another coach. The coaching staff became dysfunctional. You had one coach snorting cocaine, talking to a stripper on a live video feed that leaked out some kind of way. Organization had no culture. You bring in this new coach, young guy, he creates a culture, creates a way, made some tough moves, getting rid of some star players because they did not buy into the culture. And he created an atmosphere where it was respectable. And to be able to have those men after going 1-7, run off 7 straight games, that's amazing. So the coach wanted more to say. Felt like he was there by himself. He wanted more leeway. And this is all speculation. You feel like you're in a room by yourself. So at the end of the day, you got a star coach that's out there right now doing interviews, probably end up at Chicago. A lot of teams looking for coaches. A lot of teams looking for that guy that's, when they put his record up, when they put the coach record up against every other top coach in the NFL at this point in his career, he's at the top of the list. So there's no reason in the world it had to be personal. And I guess when you have a big old shang dang with the owner is going to let you know this is shit and you got to go. So unfortunately, the Miami Dolphins will be stuck with Tua for a long time. They'll get a coach with the understanding that Tua is untouchable and you cannot fuck with him because it was the coach or Tua. And the organization, I gather, decided that they wanted to stick with Tua. Coach knew. Pretty sure the coach knew how shit works in the NFL. How does it work? Black coaches get a job. The team tanks. They let the team tank, and then they fire the black coach based on the black coach's record. Same thing they did with Hugh Jackson in Cleveland, Tony Dungy in Tampa. Once they stacked the deck and stacked the roster, off the black coach goes. They get the little beat writers, and the beat writers go to write, oh yeah, look at his record. His record is really not good. And they go to creating these false narratives that they need to get rid of the coach. And that's what happens. The black coach gets the job under certain circumstances. When the team suck and they want draft picks and they're going to tank, that's when the black coach gets the job. The other time the black coach gets the job is when the team fires the coach within the season. The interim coach is always black. The black guy, the interim coach, is always black. Now the Dolphins have to start over. I hate to say it because I love the Dolphins organization. It's the greatest organization in town when it comes to community outreach. I love them. I mean, I go sit up there. After my comments, I might not be invited back to the president's box. So be it. I still love Tom Garfinkel. That's my guy. I still love the organization and the good people that work in it, but I just keep it 100. I'm sorry. I don't bite my lip for a ticket. My people in this community are hurting. We got a black coach. Grown men can't work out something. They fire each other after so much was built because of communication. Sound like a marriage. Irreconcilable differences. At least some marriages, unlike mine, they go to counseling. Okay, marriages go to counseling. Okay, let's separate. Let's have an off season and let's see if we can get this right. But I guess it got so toxic with the head coach. Fuck the wins. Burn this bitch up. Now you got to start over. Somebody else got to come in and build the Dolphins' way. And see, that's why teams, and now I'm going to the rest of the country. Your team does not win because it has no culture. The Patriot way. They have a culture. Coach doesn't have to worry about getting fired. Once the players know that they are able to fire the coach and run up to the general manager and they have more power than the coach, you have lost your team. You think for one fucking moment Tom Brady was going to tell Bill Belichick how to run his organization. Nope, Tom Brady in goddamn Tampa. Yeah, he's going to win Super Bowls, but Bill Belichick is going to outlast Tom Brady. And Bill Belichick is going to win games. Mike Tomlin. The Rooneys don't fire coaches. They probably have 5 coaches in the history of the program. They survived Antonio Brown. They survived Le'Veon Bell. They survived a lot at Pittsburgh. There's some dysfunctional players and some bullshit going on, but at the end of the day, they are a loyal organization to the players. And those players right now, who are at the top of their peak, who had issues with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers, like I say, it runs its course. Coaches don't leave. Organization ain't going nowhere. Players do. Look at Ozzie and the Ravens. They're going to always be somewhere by the money. You think Harbaugh is going to get fired because the organization know that they lost the starting quarterback within the year? And so we're going to fire Harbaugh? No, that's not going to happen. So when you see your organization allows the players to dictate to the coaches, shit, that's when your shit is in the garbage. Same thing with the Raiders. Yes. Same thing with the Raiders. Did it to Art Shell as well. But the difference between the Raiders is there's a Raider way. Raider Nation has a culture. This is who the fuck we are. You come play for the Raiders, this is who we are. They may have lost it since Al Davis been dead, but you still understand the culture of the Raiders because they embrace it. It's all around you. So the Raiders will always be relevant in somewhere by the money. Same thing with the Cowboys. My team, I don't like Jerry Jones. I'm not a Jerry Jones fan. I'm a Tex Stram fan. But at the end of the day, there is a culture at the Cowboys. There's the standards. And the standards is win at all costs. At all these different organizations, there's a standard at Alabama. Even though they lost, you're only going to beat Alabama in the big game because there's a standard and a culture that has been built at the University of Alabama with its coach, Nick Saban. And it starts with the head coach. So when you keep firing these coaches who have built a culture, you're basically starting over. You're basically starting over. Some people say, oh, no, well, we'll keep the defensive coordinator. No, the head coach was the defensive coordinator. Head coach was the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. He was everything because he built the standards. And that's why through adversity, Rooney may disagree with Tomlin, and I'm pretty sure they went in the room and had some shouting matches. There's shouting matches about the offensive coordinator. Rothenberg had problems with the OC at one point. But they never got rid of the coach because of that. Tomlin kept control of his team. Everybody say, well, Ozzie is not there at the Ravens anymore. The Ravens has established a culture around Ozzie, the owner, Ozzie's predecessor, who he still advised, and Harbaugh. That's what you get. That's why everybody else lose. Everybody else lose. Everybody in college football lose, except Alabama and Clemson. Clemson has a bad year. Alabama takes the L. Alabama gonna be back. Just a shit stain because the two receivers that got injured and the rest of those gangsters that he got on that roster and that quarterback, they come back. You can't say that for UGA. He's trying to build what Alabama has. A winning culture. And that is what we all try and do. God says, I guess Manny Diaz built a effing culture at UM. Yes, he did. It was done before Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz just enhanced the shit show. A lot. It's like golf. If any of you guys understand golf, golf is like this. There are the top 10 guys. You have Tiger Woods. You have Dustin Johnson. You have Justin Rose. You have the kid out of Texas. You have the top 10 echelon golfers. And then you have the field. There's 125 guys that has cards. You know, you go to Q school and you get a card and you can play on the PGA Tour. Do you realize guys that have not won a tournament in the entire golf season probably come in 28 or 30 every match, every tournament? Those guys end up the year making millions because what they call them is the field. Phil Mickelson and all those guys, they're the ones you find on a Sunday playing for the championship. And every now and then, some guy may get lucky and have a good week. Every now and then, somebody will get lucky and beat Alabama. Every now and then, somebody will get lucky and beat Bill Belichick. He'll have a down year, but he's going to come back by and be somewhere near the money. And that's what Kansas City is doing also. They're building a culture through their coach. And all of these coaches are old heads, not these little 12-year-old coaches with the little pretty baby face that everybody like, who were taught by other baby face people, who the fantasy football general manager went and got all the gangsters, loaded the team up, and put the little baby face coach at 32 years old who don't know his ass from a hole in the ground in there to win the game. No. Aaron Rodgers is playing his ass off right now, and he's going to get his ass whooped by Bruce Aaron. He might get got by the Dallas Cowboys, the former coach for the Packers. And the old head in Kansas City is going to be somewhere by the money. I'm just telling you, it is what it is. And the old head in Tampa Bay will be somewhere by the money. That crew in Tampa Bay will be somewhere by the money. It's not rocket scientists. I have conversations with coaches all the time, head coaches of colleges and universities and NFL teams. I'm like, why the fuck y'all try and reinvent the wheel? It's really simple. Football is simple. I was talking to a college coach the other day, head football coach, and I said to him, I said, listen there, man. Say, man, I need to get some dogs on my team. I said, well, if you want to get some dogs on your team, unfortunately, you have to yield to your coaches. And that is why you hire the coaches. And if you hire coaches who only know anything about poodles, then your coaches who look at a poodle and think it's a pit bull, who look at a pit bull and think it's a poodle, and don't understand real dogs, and scared of players, scared to go to the hood to get them, then what's going to happen is you're going to get beat. Because you're going to have 10 coaches going 10 different places, bringing in 25 scholarship football players, and all of them are wussies. So the person on there asks about Manny Diaz and University of Miami. Yeah, wussies. Mark Rick recruited wussies. Quiet boys. You know, so he went to all the Catholic schools to get the guys. And then what happened? Manny Diaz went and got wussies. And not just them, everybody else that gets their ass kicked on a regular basis. Clemson has a culture. That's why they're going to be about the money every day. If you hire coaches who are going to recruit wussies and are scared of real football players, then that is what you're going to get. Of your 85 football players that you brought into the organization, you're going to get a bunch of wussies. And it happens on any level. If it's the NFL, you got to be able to sit in the room and say, man, that's a real motherfucking football player right there. Deion Sanders, he know dogs because it takes one to know one. It takes a dog to know a dog. I talk to some of these college coaches. I'm like, you want to win, but you want to get these wussies and these Coach Coconuts to be coaching on your staff. But you say you want to win. No, it's the field. Just like I explained in golf. There's the upper echelon, and then there's the field. In college football, it is Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, and then there's the field. Everybody else is going to be sorry as fuck and ain't going to come nowhere near the money. It's going to be Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and then Aaron Rodgers is going to play his fucking ass off, Kansas City Chiefs, and then there's the field. Everybody else. But Buffalo is looking good. My Cowboys is a part of the field. We got some hell of a players on defense right now. We got defensive coordinator. Realize that's all he is because damn sure no head coach. Dak Prescott's going to fuck a game up. I'm just waiting for it to happen. He's borderline tour. He's a better version of tour. He's going to fuck something up. He makes too many dumbass mistakes. And in the playoffs, you can't afford to make them dumbass mistakes. Too careless with the football. You don't see elite quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady fucking around with the football as if, oh, we got plays. No. They don't make careless mistakes. Mike Tomlin, hell of a coach. Mike Tomlin is not somewhere by the money because of the loyalty of the organization and the loyalty that he has for his quarterback. They know the quarterback is on his way out. This is his last year, his last hurrah. He know he's done. They could have said, okay, they could have Jimmy Johnson, Dan Marino, this dude, and say, oh, get the fuck out of here. I don't think you could make. No, they let him go out on his own terms. You have to say that much about the organization. They know he's not going to be able to win a Super Bowl, but we're loyal to you. That speaks volumes because this organization, the Pittsburgh Steelers, will move on. Everybody in that locker room will know what type of organization we are, and everybody that we recruit to come to Pittsburgh will know you ride or die, you drink gas for the team because we are that type of organization. Can't say that for 28 other teams. You don't know what the fuck you're going to get. New Orleans, I put them in the classification of having a culture, but still, when it comes to college football, it is so political. Half of the teams know they're going to lose. Half of your favorite teams know they're going to get their ass whooped. They know they're going to get beat. They know because they understand that they are the field. We're just playing. Shit, we went in 10 games. Hoorah for Hollywood. If I win 8 games, this team ain't won. Hoorah for Arkansas. Cincinnati know they didn't have a fucking chance in hell. And then there's everybody else. Even my good friend over there, Lane Kiffin. It's only so much you could do at Ole Miss. Georgia Tech, the field. North Carolina, the old man, the field. Texas, the field. Oklahoma, the field. Oklahoma State, the field. USC, the field. Notre Dame, the field. All that shit is they know they're not going to win nothing no time soon. Louisville, the field. Let's get everybody all ramped up. Dolphins had an opportunity to do something great. Whoever get this coach and make a commitment and allow him to bring in a general manager, with him, somebody to come in together and not the company man, they're going to win. He's going to be a star. Meanwhile, the Dolphins are set back at least 5 years. They're set back at least 5 years. They've lost the locker room. They made a commitment to this quarterback who's not the guy. No different than a lot of your teams, Chicago Bears. Jesus Christ, I don't know how many coaches they've went through. Denver Broncos. They had a culture when they had Shanahan. Fuck it. John Elway came in and just changed everything. It became a whorehouse. Loyalty. The Jets. Jesus Christ. The Jets and the Giants. Jets, Giants, bottom feeders. Bottom feeders. Then there's the bottom feeders. Cincinnati for years. That's why I'm not surprised about Cincinnati, because Cincinnati was loyal to his coach for a lot of years. So it's just a matter of time for Cincinnati to be successful. How many times did their coach, how many years did he lose? He took them to the door, took them to the Super Bowl, took them to the door, took them to the Super Bowl. But they understand we don't have all the pieces. You understand we don't have the pieces. So my point is, I know I'm bouncing from the NFL to college football, but I'm just bringing it all in together as one. If you do not establish a culture, you will not win. And that shit ain't built through free agency. That shit is built through letting these players know your head coach is going to be here with you or without you. When the players start taking over the fucking team, that's it. Now let's talk about college football. NIL. NIL transfer portal. So we can all understand it right now. This thing moves worse than the coronavirus. NIL. For some of you all who don't know what the fuck that is, that's where players could get paid. And I guess they approved the NIL to even the playing field because schools like the Alabamas, Clemsons, LSUs, and all these people of the world, and the Floridas and all them in Georgia, they are getting all the top players. So now you put the NIL in effect. Now players can actually get paid through sponsorships from their teams, not the team, but people who love the team. Put it that way. Organizations, companies who want to sponsor each player. So now what ended up happening? That was the thing. We're going to do NILs. NILs, everybody can, you can get paid. Something, they should have called that motherfucker the Luke rule because they accused me for paying players back in the University of Miami days. Still ain't told the real story. Did I pay players? I did not. So what ended up happening? They said, we're going to create this thing where players get paid because players should be able to get paid off their name and likeness. Name and likeness, which I fully agree. But then, as you know, everybody gets into it and they started finding wrinkles and loopholes, and then they play the game, and the game becomes played in a totally different way based on what it was intended for. So now you have Alabama quarterback getting $1 million and a lot of other players getting $100,000, $10,000 here, $5,000 here, $3,000 there, and they get sponsorship dollars. NIL. A way for us to be able to pay our players for name and likeness. But my understanding, I always thought, yes, players can be able to get paid off their name and likeness, but are the players getting paid off of those jerseys that they're selling with their name on the back? Are the players getting paid off of Madden? That was the big argument. You're using our name and selling jerseys, and you're selling paraphernalia, and you're selling all of this fucking merchandise, and you got us on the fucking this Madden game and all that. That's what we want to get paid for. Where's that money? Mm-hmm. Well, we'll let you guys go out and get your own deals. Who controls that? So I'm playing football in the bushes in Knoxville. Let's take Knoxville. I'm playing football in Knoxville, population 300,000, little college town or whatever it may be. It may be more than that. I'm just exaggerating. I'm playing football in Knoxville. And every business around Knoxville is somewhat associated with the university. So for me to then go into Knoxville, me, Luke Sports, represent a player in Knoxville. Now I got to go to all those local businesses in Knoxville to see if I can generate $100,000, $10,000, or even $1 million. But still somewhat controlled by the university. You're not going to go over there to pizza place. Hey, pizza guy, we want to, we got Mike Bobo playing wide receiver for y'all, and I'm representing him, and we want to do a NIL name likeness deal with you. He'll come by, sign some autographs, and give out some pizzas, and we can do some promotions and things like that. Well, let me tell you, I might need to call the coach over there and see what's happening. Or I got to call somebody that needs to call somebody that needs to call somebody. Because we know we do have a suite up here at the stadium, and so we'll talk to the school to find out whether Mike Bobo, your guy, is the one that we need to be participating in this sponsorship opportunity. But we love the idea, we'll get back to you. So in all actuality, the school ends up somewhat controlling the deals. So now how does NIL now play into transfer portals? So I say the shit changes like coronavirus. Here's what's going on. And I'm going to get to high school NILs. Here's what's going on. Here's what's going on. So now you play for University of South Florida. You balled your ass off. You played good. You did all the things you need to do, and shit. You the number one defensive tackle with the most sacks, with the most tackles for loss, with the most hurries, the rush, and all that shit there. So you now a hot commodity to go to a Power 5 school. So you can jump in the transfer portal, but how do you jump in the transfer portal? And why would I jump in the transfer portal? And what incentives are there for me? Yes, I can go play. I could get to the league at South Florida. I can get to the league at South Florida. I don't need to go to Alabama. I don't need to go to any other big time school. But if the guys come to you and says, we have marketing opportunities at the University of Florida, University of Louisville, the University of Alabama, and here are these opportunities. You can make up to $200,000 at the University of Alabama and another $200,000 at LSU, or you can make another $150,000 if you go over to the University of whatever. So now you jump into the transfer portal. You jump into the transfer portal, and now you're able to do what? You're able to utilize the transfer portal as well as NIL. So the teams in the future will, it's going to be big bank, take little bank real soon. So you can have a player's ass off at your school, ball till you fall. But then what happens? He has the opportunity to hit the transfer portal. The marketing company comes to him saying, look here, hey, we got a couple $100,000 over here. So the school that plays the game the proper way and has the resources and its alumni and its board of trustees and its boosters who own major corporations, because that's how they make their money, when they do get their mind together and say, hey, look here, man, we have $1 million on the table. We have $10 million on the table to play transfer portal games, to play transfer portal NIL games. That is when the shit is going to hit the fan. But don't necessarily mean that those teams are going to win because they could play the game, because, again, you still have to have the coach. You can bring in the baddest motherfuckers in the world and you have a bunch of wussies and Coach Coconuts on your staff and can't get them to run through a damn cactus field as long as a wall. And so now you fast forward the NIL situation with high school. How does high school play into the NIL? Which is going to be very bad for a lot of high schools. Because most high school coaches, fortunately, they are Nice guys. They're nice guys. They school teachers. Some situations, guys work at the water plant. Or they side job is they got, car wash business. They don't necessarily negotiate deals. Maybe some, a few here and there. Probably left the corporate world and came into this world, but you better find them. Like myself, everybody in Miami is mad at me because I'm able to negotiate deals because I've done negotiations I've worked on negotiations with top NFL players to receive funds for sponsorship. And I got tons of sponsorship. So they're like, oh, your players are going to be in the best hands and the greatest hands of the world because you can negotiate deals with all these different companies that you're already affiliated with, NIL deals. So when your kids do end up in a certain college, those deals will be in place. Yes, they will. I can't help because who I am and what I've done and where I've been. I didn't know they was going to come up with no situation where players can get compensated when they go to a college or a university. Yes, we're going to do that. We're doing it right now. We're doing it right now. When I have a conversation with a college, it's a totally different conversation for one of my guys. I need to know the different people in what are the sponsorship opportunities, but be able to negotiate those sponsorship opportunities after the player gets to your college. So I've been doing it. So my players at Miami Edison are going to benefit from the fact that their head coach, that's what he do on a regular basis. That's what the fuck he does on a regular basis. Good friend of mine said, Luke, you need to go to college. And I said to him, I love working with these young people in the community. I just love working with them. It's not about money with me. I love to see a smile on their face. I love to see them get a scholarship. I love to see them make millions of dollars. I love to see them come back and invest, make sound investments and become multimillionaires and understand that through investments and not shoving the money up some strippers' panties is where you need to be in life. So I love that. So we move on to this new world here of NIL. Yes, my players in Miami Edison is going to get the best. So when they go off to college, their coach will be negotiating those deals for those players. And they won't be going to a college that is not participating in NIL. I have a problem with that. So it becomes real deep. Unfortunately, everybody can't do it. So then now some of these high schools are then going to go and say, okay, let me get somebody to do the NIL situations or NIL deals for our players because all of our players are going to end up over there with Luke. Because if he's negotiating $200,000, $300,000 and $1 million for his players and 10,000 and 5,000, then eventually most of the players in South Florida and everywhere else around the country are going to be sending their top kids to him because he knows they're going to get. He's going to make sure that they get paid. That's when a lot of people are going to lose the reservation because the lack of knowledge always puts you in a position where you get taken advantage of. Lack of knowledge always gets you in a position where you're going to get taken advantage of. And unfortunately, a lot of these high school coaches are going to get taken advantage of because of the lack of knowledge or wingdinging it. So that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. We did 1 hour on here. Some of you guys, hopefully I didn't bore you. I have to get my shit together and make sure I stay on time and not be on here all night. I give you 1 hour. Hey, so I just want to remind you guys, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, Uncle Luke. Subscribe, punch, subscribe. I need you to be a good member of my YouTube channel. People will see me on Facebook. I love you guys. My Facebook fan page and my other 2 personal pages. People who check me out on Twitch, you could always check me out over there as well. Every now and then I go live on IG, but you know I like that TikTok. I wish I could connect TikTok to this right here. That's some dope shit. Some dope shit. Flomo, would you coach so here's the time right now before I get off. I do 10 minutes of you guys ask Uncle Luke, ask me whatever you want to ask me. Whatever you want to ask me. Okay, here's the first question. Would you coach at Flomo? I think Flomo has a great coach in Coach Ice Harris. That's a good friend of mine. I think he is doing a good job of building that program from scratch. They just need a little more support from alumni and trustees, and they just need money. They need more money. Anybody got any other questions before I jump off here? This is the time you ask Uncle Luke. Ask anything you want to ask me about. Anything, whatever your heart desire. You can ask me about anything. You know, I really want to, I'm going to come on here one day and I'll be a little scared. Because I know talking about relationships, I want to talk about relationships between men and women. See, relationships are all over the place. You can talk about woman, man, baby daddy, stepdaddy, side chick, side man, husband, divorce. It's so many topics when it comes to relationship. But one day I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk fucking relationships. I'm going to talk relationships. One day I'm going to come on here. But it's not going to be tonight. I want to thank you guys. Okay, here's another question before I get off. Would you go to Rush College and start football? Rush College, start football. I don't really know where that's at. T. Martin be a great fit for Tennessee for coaching. I think T. Martin would have been a great fit at any given time for coaching at Tennessee. But unfortunately, from my understanding, that's the Peyton Manning is standing in the way of that because T. Martin was the one who won the national championship and Peyton Manning didn't, and Peyton Manning hates on T. Martin every chance he get. T. Martin should have been the coach. I guarantee you, T. Martin would have been an excellent coach, would be an excellent coach for Tennessee. And he would be able to go and recruit from Georgia, Florida, Georgia, and Texas because everybody loves him and respects him. Do you know something? T. Martin's son is playing for the University of Miami, baseball. Luke, were you nervous in the high court? When I got to the Supreme Court, was I nervous? It was amazing. If you ever get an opportunity to go hear a Supreme Court hearing, you should do it. Take your kids. I got to take my son there. Was I nervous in there? Yes, I was nervous. I mean, the whole thing before you go to the Supreme Court, you go in there, they take everything. You get a locker. They take and put all your phones, your keys. You go in there with nothing, basically strip search you, and you go sit down. You got to sit down. You got to be like this, sitting up. They have a guard walking up and down like this, looking down at everybody and walking here and walking there. Then one justice come out the back behind a big curtain and shit. It's like a freaking production. Then another justice, and you sitting there, you like, oh shit. You just wait for the smoke to come out at some period of time. HBCU in Highland Spring, Mississippi. Yeah, y'all give me the job. I'll go there. I'll go there and start football. Make it happen. do a protest. Don't forget Charles Mitchell. He can be a great from mother-in-law. What do you think about Power Fives going to HBCUs? Example, guys left JSU. I love the fact that kids are going to historical black colleges. Because again, when you look at the amount of players going to historical that went to the NFL, you got a shitload of players that went to the NFL and the Hall of Fame that came from historical black colleges. I love the fact that these kids are going and taking their time. I mean, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, offensive lineman from Alabama A&M went first round in the draft. Kids get drafted out of historical black colleges all the time. Just think about this. Think about how many 5-star players go to Alabama, LSU, Georgia, and so on and so on, and Clemson and all these places. How many 5-star guys that go to those schools that never get an opportunity to hit the field? There's only 11 could go on the field at the time. The running back for the University of Alabama waited 5 years to get on the field. The current running back waited 5 years to get on the field. Thank God he did not get injured in the first game, because his career would have been done. He'd have been driving a fucking UPS truck. Hopefully he would have had a great degree and he could have been a lawyer, a doctor, or something like that. But most of the time that normally happens. UPS truck. So I look at it and I say to myself, 85 on the roster. Historical black college is only 65. So if you're not in the 11, why not? You're talking about 5 stars all over the place. So if I'm a 5-star, my chances of getting on the field at a historical black college with some good coaches, because it's all about coaching to get you to the next level, with some guys who coached in the NFL and guys who played in the NFL, those guys are going to get me ready faster than the people at Florida State and a lot of these other schools, because a lot of colleges have some former head coach son or grandson as the position coach, and he's looking at a freaking DVD learning how to coach the position. Oh, let me get the drills right. Let me get the fucking drills right. These baby-faced guys who never played a dime of football in their life, never coached before, they get them guys a job. So Deion has a hell of a formula. You go in the room at Jackson State and you say, look here, look, this guy here going to be coaching you. He coached Hall of Fame football players, and I am a DB Hall of Famer. So now, look at the DB coach at Florida State. Put his resume up against my resume. Who's going to get you better? And so you're going to have a lot of situations like that. Because again, a lot of these colleges are hiring a bunch of wussies to be their coach, and they expect to be national champions. Bullshit. You saw that old motherfucker for Georgia calling plays in the box. You saw Bill O'Brien calling the plays for Alabama, and you saw a hell of a game. Look at these other teams. Deion is going to be able to out-recruit all of them. And when all these other historical black colleges get it, that's about coaching and the culture, they'll be able to recruit too. Because every 5-star, 4-star, and 3-star is not going to play on Saturday. They're not going to play for 3, 4, 5 years. But it's like, I'd rather be a big fish in a little pond. Because you can sit they transferring from every one of them schools right now. Alabama backup quarterback transferred. He was a 5-star. There's a shitload of 5 stars, 85 kids on each roster in Power 5 football, and they could only play 11. So some of us, even on the high school level, some of us get caught up with, we just so fucked up in the brains. Oh, my son is going to go here. And your son don't play it down. They got it in the high school levels around in every city in America. Oh, my son is going to go over here to high school X because I went there and they're winning championships and they're winning rings and shit. I'm not going to go to high school B where my son could get on the field and play football and get an opportunity to do what? Get a scholarship, go to college, be productive, and maybe get a shot at the NFL. But they want to go keep their kids over at the big high school and we're winning all the championships and the big college winning and all this, and find themselves in the transfer portal. I was at University of Auburn. I was the #1 running back in the state of Alabama, and I went to Auburn. Well, why the hell your ass at FIU? You should have been to FIU. You should have been to FAMU before. I want to take my son to the park, and he's going to play on the souped up park team. Well, your son is over there on the souped up park team. Well, all the gangsters there in the pretty uniforms and the coach giving us, paying my light bill and rent. Your light bill ain't but $68. And your rent ain't but $1,200. And you're selling your kid, that should be damn trafficking, child trafficking. Just imagine if Teddy Bridgewater and now I'm on the youth football. If Teddy Bridgewater, Ja'Cory Harris, Jeffrey Godfrey all played for the same team, those 3 guys wouldn't have been able to play quarterback. One of them would have got moved to receiver. 2 of them. Or one would have got moved to defensive back. And one would have been the quarterback. And the rest would have been his. Just imagine Dalvin Cook on the same team with Duke Johnson, Joe Yerby, Devontae Freeman, all these people. You probably wouldn't have never seen the light of day. On the same souped up park team. There's only one football. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to get off of here. I enjoyed my time here. I done went over 5 minutes. I was trying to be disciplined with y'all. Flomo needs to be a part of the Orange Bowl. Yes, Morehouse, y'all, Flomo. They should have a whole weekend. Would you want to play person, aka Hall of Fame, in prime time, skipping dinner? Bill O'Brien stunk up the place. Coaching. They lost 2 receivers. So you lose your 2 starting receivers. It kind of, let's go. And who is this? This is my friend, Crystal Foster. Hi, Crystal Foster. I call her sometimes Crystal. She only calls me sometime. But she's my good friend, my little sister. But she is sometimes Crystal Foster. I saw on there this morning talking about vaccines and shit. Fully vaccinated and you talking about vaccines. That's a whole nother conversation. My coach always told me this. If you can ball, the league is going to find you. You're fucking right. You are right, Roland. The league will find you. And I'll leave you on this here. What school did Carson Wentz go to? No. What school did Tony Romo go to? Y'all have a good night. You want me to run for mayor? My sister, call me up. I'll holler. I was nice tonight. I went over 6 minutes. Good night.